even know who you are. Never again. Do not ever come in my live ever again. What are you doing? I don't know who you are. Why would I invite you? Why would I give you my microphone? Good morning. This is Justice's Waiting Room. This is a daily live podcast where we discuss news and politics. Hadn't even gone live for 10 seconds, but somebody didn't be like, let me hop on the mic. Like, get the fuck out of here. I'm angry today. You know why I'm angry? Because people are not understanding the whole of, like, the scope of what is happening. Uh, I can come out and say it, and you gotta understand, I'm like a Lance Corporal. I'm a former Lance Corporal in the Marine Corps. I ain't nobody. I ain't nobody. This means if I'm thinking about it right now, if I'm saying, like, Donald Trump is intentionally spreading the military thin to make us more susceptible. Think of troops as the kinds of cells that eliminate disease. And think about, you know, think of it all the way down to like the cellular level. When you send, and again, um, I'm not propping up the NGs, okay, the Natty Guard, um, the Nasty Guard, okay. Typically, when we see the National Guard, they're fat and out of shape, and they don't have enough combat training. They're not spend enough time at the range. And the reason that they're being used is because there are more likely to be sympathizers within the National Guard. Statistically, it's more white. But the problem that I have is that, and I'm a numbers guy, that's what I care about, the math. 19 cities, 1,700 people is 90 National Guard in 17 cities. That easily have 100 plus thousand people in them. You would never militarily send your boys in completely fucking outnumbered and unarmed into a combat situation. So you gotta know, even if they're carrying a weapon, they did not get issued ammo because you would have had to drive to an ammo dump to get it. You don't just go to the armory and get your gun out and then they also give you the rounds. That's not how that works. It's like a two-check system. And typically you won't even see live rounds until you get on a range. Then they'll show you the live rounds. Then we can do all that shooty shooty bang bang shit. Good to go? So when we talk about taking 100 National Guardsmen, putting them in 17 different cities, requiring that they work with law enforcement. The first thing that I want to make sure that we point out is that when Donald Trump sent the National Guard to Los Angeles, they did not get fed, nor housed, nor paid. So if you're one of those 90, it's time to start making some phone calls. And I ain't talking about to get quarter wherever you go, like find somebody's couch to crash on, 'cause fucking no. Yeah. What Donald Trump wants to do, what he's trying to set up, is a National Guards person killing a civilian during a protest. In case you didn't wonder, this is how Donald Trump legitimizes declaring martial law is to have one of the National Guardsmen that are a sympathizer of his to load their firearm and shoot a civilian. Hmm. And all the while, if you think about, he sent troops to sent assets to Venezuela. He's got shit going on in the Middle East again. He's spreading, and again, I'm a Lance Corporal. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. He's spreading us thin, uh, and making us more susceptible to attack. And the reason that I say all that, reason that I say all that, that it's going to be very hard to do that, is look at the numbers. 1,700. That's that's nothing. That's nothing. Now, people are going to talk about how much it costs today. You are fucking it up. By people talking about what it costs, no, you're fucking it up. They're not getting paid. They're not getting fed. They don't have a place to stay. They are sympathizers. Those 90 that are showing up, those are white boys. Those are boys that either are going to refuse to take their gun out, right? And again, the reason I get to say all this shit is because I observed them in Washington, D.C. A pack of three. Only one had an AR on them. It has white fucking tape all over that rifle. He's holding two hands on the butt of his rifle, and his hands are touching his chin. Okay? He's walking around like this with the gun pointed to the ground. That weapon might as well not be on him. He's in zero position to fire. And his two compatriots do not have firearms. It's a weak show of force. These aren't the people that you put on the ground first anyway. The National Guard is an occupying force. They're not first to the fight. These are police and fire and EMTs that are funding didn't go into effect immediately. So people say stuff like, and again, I'm not Angie. I'm not hopping on anybody's back. So never think it like that. I'm attacking the argument, not the individual. Um, when you say stuff like, "Oh, it's such a massive waste of money," what money? They're not. I mean, I guess it's kind of invisible money, not actual money, not money spent for food or a place to live or to pay those people. Okay, so know that those people, majority don't even want to be there. What I'm concerned about are bad actors. I'm concerned with the young 18 to 21-year-old kid, completely brainwashed by this administration, that goes to a gun range in his off time, picks up some live rounds, draws his weapon on the armory, loads it, and then looks for a reason. You gotta go. That's what I'm worried about. Because it only takes one. It only takes one of you fucking idiots to fuck us all. Abso-goddamn-lutely. Now, oh, they're burning in money other ways, for sure. Um, one of the things that they don't account for is fuel cost of all those vehicles, all those MRAPs and shit, those up armored Humvees and shit. It costs $1 million to operate them shits. Yeah. So imagine. Yep. I can't believe they built that in 8 days and had to tear down Alligator Auschwitz already. And keep in mind, there are still people cheering this the fuck on. And I hope absolutely nothing but the worst for you. Stay in your house, wash your goddamn hands, and keep that house clean. As the U.S. confirms, the first case of screwworm.
Let me just tell you how this is going to happen.
And a lot of people want to talk about psychics. Okay? All that this administration has proven is that if the government wanted to do something about homelessness, they would have fucking done it already. Links before stories. If you're gonna post this happened, I need a link. I don't want to see you talking about something we're not talking about without a link. If you can't post the link, you can wait. This is my show. Stop that. Please. Don't get ahead. It's not your job. I don't like that. Post the link. Do not talk about some shit without it. I don't care what you read. I care where did it come from? Who wrote it? That's more important to me. Drones, armored vehicles are part of Canada's $2 billion military aid package to Ukraine. Hope that's kind of the nice way of putting it. Yeah, I posted the. I see all these articles about political leaders in other countries getting held accountable, and I'm like, why not us? Like, why can't this happen for us? So here's the former Sri Lankan president Ranil. Ooh man, he's fucking me up with this last name. Wickremesinghe. You're welcome. Arrested for allegedly misusing public funds. And he looks kind of like a brown Trump. It's kind of wild. Did anybody else see that? I don't want my insides be eaten by a screwworm. Israel needs to calm the fuck down because they're like bombing multiple countries. Like Yemen, like what the fuck is going on right there when it is our turn to hold people accountable? Well, I mean, one of the things I want to make sure that we point out is there's a reason all this shit's happening and why it feels like a clusterfuck and every day is an escalation upon the prior day. It's like, oh my god, I didn't think it could get fucking worse. It got worse. But like, the reason that they're doing that every day is an escalation upon the prior is they're trying to distract you from the fact the Rockland lawsuit and the Epstein files. In my opinion, those are uh, the two big things that Donald Trump's trying to distract you away from those things, um, and also free Palestine, Slavic Ukraine. Obviously, those are major things. But what I'm saying is, he's trying to distract you from the fact that like his DOJ is they produced 30,000 plus pages of Epstein related information on Friday, but it was just all of the publicly available information. So this Rockland lawsuit is it's gonna be a big deal. Okay, I have a feeling very early in the Rockland lawsuit, some people are gonna wake up, like in Discovery. Like in the first couple of days, they're gonna be like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" Because I understand when it comes to going to court and shit, you gotta have a reason to go to court. So understand. Aaron asks, "What if they're waiting for him to go so they can drop the news that Advance tried to take the helm?" Oh, you're talking about the use of the 25th Amendment. So I've said this for a long time. If you all recall back 8, 9 months ago when we were talking about all this, um, we talked about how um, oh, you can't post links in the comments on TikTok anyway. I was talking to my friends on YouTube. They like to skip ahead to other stories, and it's like if you're not gonna post the link, you're fucking me, right? Because you're not paying attention to me, right? Your head's somewhere else, but you also didn't bring the story with you. You just like brought the headline. Like I don't do that to you. Don't do that to me. It's that simple, right? That's an easy ask. What up, Crush? Somebody said they don't have a link. Hope said, but there's a county in Colorado doing the same thing as Rockland County, and those lawsuits are going to pop up all over the country. One of the major people to follow here is Mark Elias. They have 53 lawsuits in like 20 plus states over this election. Hmm. Yeah. So yeah, Gabby, we'd kind of talked about how Kamala Harris intended to put her book out as the Rockland lawsuit started, and they moved it up a month, which I think is actually good for Kamala Harris. If you're a capitalist and you want Kamala Harris's book to sell well, because you've got like a stake in that or whatever. Um, I just want to point out why I'm not a Democrat. Kamala Harris is one of the major recipients of money from AI PAC. And since she lost this election, she has not come out and condemned the genocide in Gaza multiple times, using her platform, making sure she says every single day, Free Palestine. Israel's committing a genocide in Gaza. She's not doing that shit. Why? Because they paid for her silence. And so, all of this shit going on in this election, all of this shit going on in politics, she's one of the most accomplished people, one of the most experienced people in American politics, in American political history. Say it right. And she chose to write a book and do a book tour where she sells tickets to have her sign your book. Where she's going to write a book about how um, she feels. You ever heard of a book being used as evidence? Me neither. She didn't write the book to produce evidence. She decided to capitalize on her loss. Say it. She is trying to capitalize on her loss. Yep. Because you're okay with capitalism. You're okay with this. You're like, that's what the most experienced politician in American history should be doing right now. That's a good use of their time and effort and energy. Mm-hmm. They said that the American political system is broken and chose not to fix it. I'm not monetizing my feed. You're not a very good friend, are you? I don't take money from TikTok. I don't share links to pay me. So you came into my live and decided to be my enemy. That's on you. Guess who won't be seeing you ever again? Anyone on this live. Blocked. Badmouth a candidate. Capitalism is bad, okay? Do you understand how that works? I don't care who you are. If you're a capitalist, die. That's how that works. You call it a purity test. I call it capitalism or not. Is she fixing the political system she says is broken? Or is she writing a book and capitalizing on it by selling tickets to a book signing? Do you understand English and how that might be wrong and wrong-headed? It's not a purity test. It's a what should you be doing with your fucking time test. You're the most experienced politician in American history. You think the best use of your time is selling tickets to a book signing for a book you wrote so you can capitalize on that? So you can make as much money as possible? I want to continue to point out how well her finances were managed in her run as president. Didn't they raise like $36 million and somehow come up negative? Doesn't that speak to a problem? You and I, if we decided to run for public office and we had no fucking budget, guess what you and I would not be able to do? That's right, spend 36 motherfucking million dollars. We wouldn't be able to do that. We wouldn't be able to get close. Nope. Because you and I see numbers and shit, and we go, whoa, 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 how much? For how many people? We could just do it at a football field, $100. What are we talking about? You know what I'm saying? Okay. And so you see it as we had a candidate. We didn't have a candidate. We didn't have a candidate. You say purity test, I say Israel's committing a fucking genocide, and you got two goddamn choices in life. You can either say that's a fucking genocide, that shit's wrong, and I don't care if Israel is an ally of the United States. I don't give a fuck. It's an unfortunate ally. And again, I want to continue to break this down to a personal level so you dum-dums can get it. If I'm friends with someone and you do something fucked up, guess what? We ain't friends no more. That's how that shit works. I'm a big fan of Top Gun. In the beginning of Top Gun, Maverick disobeyed a direct order, and he originally landed his fighter jet on the aircraft carrier and then took back off and turned around so he could go get his buddy who had had a bit of a traumatic moment, right? And they land their aircraft and they're going below deck to speak to their leadership, and the guy that they went and saved his fucking life so that he didn't crash his goddamn airplane, he quit. The moment was too much for him. And as a result, Maverick and Goose become the two pilots from Miramar to go to Top Gun. And the captain says, right before he lets them go, you fuck up just this much. You will be flying a cargo plane full of rubber dog shit out of Hong Kong. And right now, they're two of the fucking best fighter pilots in the world. So if you think about the fall from grace that would have been, that's the standard I hold people I call friends to. The one thing I've learned in my life is people will do just about anything for you until they figure out you're a bigot. Once they figure out who you don't like. And that's how I am. I will be friends with just about anybody until you're a bigot or until you're a capitalist. Like my boss at work. He's a young kid. He said I'm probably the best person he's ever met, and he wanted to be friends with me. But you know what he also told me in the same conversation? I could suspend my politics for some dollar bills. Wrong fucking answer, jock. You'll never fucking see me again. You see how that works? It's that easy. I have friends. You know what I'm saying? I'm not taking applications. This isn't a fucking job. Good to go? But 1,000 fucking %. There's no one above reproach. There's not a single person on earth that isn't worth criticism. Joe Biden. Joe Biden held on to the stick too long. Way after everyone I know was like, Joe Biden should fucking step down. He's clearly lost the grip, and Kamala Harris is right there. What's hilarious is that I've seen quite a bit of the Epstein list, and Donald Trump's all over it. So I always think it's hilarious when people are like, "He's gonna get away with it," like, you fucking morons. They released 30,000 publicly available documents on that on Friday. And they were all the ones that were already available. Uh huh. Yep. And understand that list, that information, all that shit, it's already been put through the chain of evidence. It's not like it's new. I want to make sure we point that out. It's not like it's new. And ultimately, again, I've been saying this whole time. What do you think he's got hidden in Ivana's tomb? And what do you think was in that bathroom on in that little outhouse on Mar-a-Lago? Mhm. Understand that, I was in the military, not necessarily the government, but if there's a single document that exists, there's multiple documents that exist. So yeah, yeah. Um, so when you think like, oh, they're gonna pardon Ghislaine Maxwell, Donald Trump doesn't have the ability to do that. So I know people are just like, they want to live in this timeline so bad that they're like, he's gonna get away with it, and Ghislaine Maxwell is gonna get pardoned by who? By who? And then people are going to say, well, she wasn't supposed to leave the maximum security prison she's in, and now she's basically in a minimum security prison. You can call in favors. Like, the president has the little bit of a, you know what I mean? But to pardon her? No. Mm-mm. Hmm. Yeah, it was manufactured. Hmm. But yeah, here's an article from Al Jazeera about how Israel's targeting Yemen. Mike said I'm a little late. I was trolling Fox. Somebody asked, please explain why Donald Trump pardoned January Sixers. Well, he's an idiot, so there's that first one. But he ultimately has no support. One of the things to think about when you think about how unlikable this administration is, think about that's how people vote. And if 80% of people are like, man, I didn't vote for that, but it says 50-50 on the scoreboard, everybody thinks that this is a deeply politically divided fucking country. Yeah, I cannot pardon Ghislaine Maxwell. Uh, because they did what they did in Washington, D.C., which is not a state, so those were federal crimes, and he's the chief of the federal government, so he can pardon them people, because what they did happened in Washington, D.C., which is not a state. And then what Ghislaine Maxwell did didn't happen in Washington, D.C., so she got tried for state crimes. And so the president can't pardon someone for state crimes, nor can they be shielded from them. Because Ghislaine Maxwell did not run a sex trafficking ring from Washington, D.C. for a better part of 20 years. It was an international sex trafficking ring. And actually, I mean, it was more like organized crime because you understand the whole point wasn't just to put Donald Trump around some minors so he could satiate his lust. It was so that Donald Trump could surround himself with business leaders and world leaders and then have evidence, pictures, and video of him hanging out with all of these people that he has since bribed the fuck out of and extorted the fuck out of and coerced money out of and favors and all kinds of shit. Yeah, yeah. Remember, I told you this. There was a time when it was Diddy and Donnie, and they were the life of the party in New York City. There are a lot of people that don't want the Epstein list to come out because they were part of that. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. And remember, for most of Donald Trump's middle and later ages, he supported Democratic candidates. Remember, Donald Trump donated 30 plus $1 million to people like Kamala Harris, people like Hillary Clinton. He's an actual turncoat, a no shit, would have fought for the South, or fought for the North, turn and fought for the South kind of guy because he used to be a Democrat. And you can imagine why he stopped being a Democrat. And that's because no matter how much money he gave them, they would not give him power. And so what did he do? I remember he went on a radio interview. Well, see, Cease, I think that you're correct. That the people that were pardoned on January 6th went and joined ICE. Yes. Um, mhm. Not a legitimate concerned about the welfare and safety of American people because of the wrath of the immigrant. No, no. But January Sixers, abso-fucking-lutely, are the new ICE agents. Hmm. Oh, and I'd said let me be your barometer. It's about 60 people in here this morning on a Monday. Happy to see you all. I had said let me be your barometer, and I think this person, when they start breaking into people's houses in ski masks saying that they're police. Oh, we got our live access removed. What did I say? I didn't. What information did I say? We got we got banned on TikTok. I'm not really sure why. Diddy Donnie had his own teen beauty pageant company. Be wary of paramilitaries, was Mike's question slash comment. Hmm. It's just awkward. Like, what did I say specifically? Can't really worry about it too hard. Okay. It's whatever. We'll keep this. We'll keep that open in case it appeal goes through. Yeah, well, I mean, Donald Trump is like a fan of BB. They are friends. I'm looking at the news, looking for news. We covered a lot of the news stuff. It's Monday, so the new news hasn't come out yet. It keeps making me watch that fucking TikTok where the guy says apartments are gay. Anyway, so we even looked at, yeah, we already talked about it. All right, federal judge rules Alabama Senate district violates Voting Rights Act, orders new map. It happened over the weekend. So yeah, Mike, he was in Gaza. He witnessed all that shit. He spoke out against them. He got removed from the parachuting team that he was on. He was on like a elite parachuting team. They do like shows, like air shows and shit. After he spoke out against Israel, he got removed from the team. Richard Oyeda was in Crystal Kyle and Friends, and he is running for Congress in North Carolina. But Stacy asked, when do they start breaking in with ski masks on? Well, I'll try to find the article real quick for you. Again, let me be your barometer, right? Um, Two posing as police with ski masks on enter home and are killed by homeowner. So yeah. So here's people.com. Posted August 24th. So this was posted yesterday. I think it happened on Saturday night. And he is right. I'm trying to remember what I said though. What did I say that was? Oh, maybe they here. Maybe I'll play it if they tell me what's misinformation. Here's what's misinformation. It doesn't. So one of the things I notice is they appealed it for misinformation with no evidence. So usually you just win that appeal. Yeah. So I'd said let me be your barometer, especially ladies. Um, it's you gotta find something you're comfortable firing. Hmm. It's different with women. With men, it's like whatever, bro. Make sure you get to the range. With ladies, like you gotta be comfortable with what you're doing. Otherwise, you'll clam up in the moment. It's gotta feel lightweight. It's gotta feel like easy to rise, easy to fire, doesn't jam, stuff like that. Hmm. Yeah, I try to tell you like there's no sense in being stressed out about protecting yourself. There has to be like a line that they cross before you go, now I think I'm gonna keep it glued to me. You know what I mean? Like, nah. When they're going house to house, posing as police with a ski mask on. I mean, they already killed two elected officials in Minnesota, or killed one and wounded the other, right? That was, to me, that was, it's time we start have a conversation about, you know, cameras and for me, I have to think about what I'm gonna have to do. I have to replace my front and back doors because them shits are vulnerable as fuck. Um, yeah, and I don't want to. I mean, shit. Somebody runs into my door too hard and knocks the whole fucking thing down. Like, get the fuck out of here. Yeah, yeah. Something to remember when you shoot a firearm in the dark. There will be a little bit of a flash, and if you're not prepared, that can blind you. Um, you know your house better than anyone else. I would be more apt to be like cameras, a security alarm. But when they're showing up, like trying to jam a warrant in the glass and like wearing ski masks, police, open up. Like, I would hope the cops would just call me and say, hey, Jared, somebody reported that you were inciting violence and we want to talk. Will you come down to the police station? I'll just go to the police station. I ain't got no beef. I didn't do nothing illegal. I told people to arm themselves and be vigilant and don't commit crime. That way, you know, you know, if you're in your house, you have not done nothing illegal, and you get some abrupt knocks at your door by people with fucking gas masks on, pretending to be somebody they're clearly not. Let me see your badge. Fuck you, open up. The fuck on, man. The good news is, Mike, my ears are already ringing. So I think when I pull the trigger, it'll be a familiar enough sound that it don't even have to make noise. Yo, check this lawsuit out. And yeah, anyone could just say they're ICE. Yeah, absolutely. Hmm. There's no qualms about that. Yeah, it's Clint. Kilmar Abrego Garcia is a free man for now. I watched the video of him uh, hugging and kissing on his baby and his wife. I have come to understand that the president is trying to coerce Kilmar Abrego Garcia into saying that he committed human trafficking. I don't believe that he did. I think that Donald Trump's trying to save face, and he's trying to get a plea out of the kid, and he's trying to assume because he's brown that he's dumb, and I think he's got better representation than that, and I think he'll win any situation. hmm And there's so he had been deemed eligible for pretrial release. He actually elected to stay in jail rather than be deported. And again, it's just a terrible way to treat another human being. I would love to be Kilmar Abrego Garcia's friends. I'd be your buddy. I'd be a good friend to you because I'm just appalled at the way he's been treated, all because he's a brown person. Mhm. Think about this. Think about how Kilmar Abrego Garcia has been treated, and he's probably completely innocent. Think about what I've done all day, every day for the last 9 months. I've held a 90-minute show where we basically shit on this administration for being fucking incompetent and not a fucking word. Occasionally we get banned on TikTok for not being pro-Palestine or pro-Israel. I'm sorry. Uh, Slava Ukraine, free Palestine. hmm He was driving workers to work. This shit's crazy. What's the death song of the Republican Party? I need squint. I need that. Think about the mental gymnastics you have to do when Ghislaine Maxwell is doing a 20-year prison sentence for her role in this sex trafficking ring, and she provided no incriminating evidence when she met with the attorney general. Mm-hmm. Are you on TikTok now? No, we got banned. We got banned a few minutes ago. 14 minutes ago. It usually takes about 15 minutes, by the way. For missing, I don't even know what I said. It's not information misinformation to criticize anyone. Notice how we spent quite a while criticizing Kamala Harris, and all that happened was some random bot was like, "This is why we can't have nice things because we attack everybody." And it's like, I'm not a fucking capitalist, and I don't support capitalism. And when you're the most experienced politician in the last fucking 30 years, and you say democracy's fucking broken, our political system's broken, and you elect to write a book and do a fucking book tour where you sell tickets, that's capitalizing on it. That's capitalizing on the situation. Two slits for eyes. Yeah. And in an absolute act of political retribution, the president has ordered his FBI to act as his bagmen and are out searching his political enemies' homes. Yo, I'm just gonna throw this out there. Shrimp are off the menu for a while. No fucking questions asked. I posted a nice long video to satiate people this morning. I'm not bothering to get on another platform today. Multiple fatalities reported in a bus crash in New York. Dang. Is this because of Aldi's in India? Yeah. Radioactive shrimp. But yeah, 5 people were killed, including one child, in a New York bus crash. 40 people injured. That's a lot. There were 52 passengers, and 40 of them were injured. That means like a little less than 80% of the people on that bus were fucking injured, and 5 people died. That's a significant event. 10% of the people on the bus died in the crash. Teenage Mutant Walmart shrimp. Hey, I need that on a fucking t-shirt. I need that on a t-shirt. Gabby just posted a link. Indonesian shrimp. I don't know about that. Let's read the article before we say that. Southwind Foods from California uh, is recalling a limited quantity of frozen shrimp after it was possibly exposed to cesium 137, a soft, flexible, silvery white metal that becomes liquid near room temperature, used for medical devices and gauges. The recalled products were distributed from July 17th to August 8th to retailers, distributors, and wholesalers in the following states: Alabama, Arizona, California, Massachusetts, Minnesota, Pennsylvania, Utah, Virginia, and Washington State. The brands included in the recall are Sandbar, Best Yet, Arctic Shores Seafood, Great American Seafood Imports Company, and First Street. The move comes days after a similar recall from the Indonesian food company PT. Bahari Makmur Sejati, also known as BMS Foods, of frozen shrimp sold at Walmarts across the U.S. Elevated risk of cancer and destruction of cells within the body up into and including death. So shrimp are a fucking no-no forever. Can't post anything on Discord anymore. I don't know what that means. Like, I don't know why you wouldn't be able to post anything on Discord. Oh, because you were posting images and you only get a certain amount of space for images. So, as I've been saying, I would rather see a link. Post the link. Because when you go to post images, think about that Discord and all of it's got, I think there's like 30 people in our Discord and 30 people posting pictures in the same thread all day. We're going to run out of space. You don't get unlimited space. Yeah, that's why I tell people to post a link. It's not hard to go up in the search bar, Control C, and then click in the chat, Control V. It's not hard. In fact, you have to jump through a lot of other hoops. It takes a lot more steps to screenshot some shit. You gotta jump through a lot more hoops. You're going the long way. If you're screenshotting stuff to post it, that takes more gas. hmm Control V, Control C. Think about how little my finger has to move. My index finger moved 1 inch. I want to make sure I say it, even if the government doesn't. Remember that Russia is our enemy. Russia has struck and hit a U.S. factory in western Ukraine. 570 drones and 40 missiles. Hmm. And we did not see an appeal. Hmm. And it's important to point out this is after a talk about peace. So think about being an American person. You're an American person supporting this regime, as this regime with close ties to Russia says nothing when Russia bombs an American business operating in Western Ukraine, electronics manufacturing company. Hmm. I've been shrimp fishing and it's not hard. Hmm. Free uh, Slava Ukraine, free Palestine, and also Washington D.C. and L.A. Donald Trump is failing so bad in his deportation effort. They are bottom feeders. Um, but Trump's deportation scheme is failing so hard that he's now looking over. Holy shit! They are like crawfish. I always did think it's funny, and again, God love poor people, man. And I grew up poor, and I've been poor my whole life. Uh, but shrimp and crawfish always felt like poor people food, like poor people meat. It's like in my eyes, and again, people are if you're a catfish eater, my family grew up eating catfish and crawdads. Okay, I'm not to say that I have not eaten catfish and crawdads and shrimp and shit and shrimp and grits and fucking. It's because it's cheap. See, I grew up on. I grew up on Vienna sausages and fucking spam and fucking, you know what I mean? Like my parents made helly money, but they ate like they's poor. If you ain't ever had a spam and egg sandwich, spam egg and cheese, then I don't have much for you. Gotta go. And spam's really good when you slice it really thin and fry it. Codfish was always called the poor man's lobster. Yeah, yeah. hmm I grew up going fishing with my papaw on Hardy Lake in southern Indiana and spending 6 to 12, 13 hours fishing all day. And I can't tell you how many fish we threw back. But every now and then he'd pull one in and he'd be like, "This is going to be some good eating." Yeah. Now that I'm older, though, and now that I realize, well, shrimp's off the fucking menu, it makes me take like a hard look at that situation. And it's like, you know what I probably will never eat again? Shrimp, crawfish, fucking catfish, spam. Holy shit. I haven't eaten any of that shit in a long ass time. Yeah. Now, when I was on active duty, I ate tuna. Um, Because a can of tuna is like 30 grams of protein. It's got a little salt in it, but you could get rid of you could get like the low salt version of tuna. So when I was my healthiest, your boy was eating straight chicken and tuna. That was it. Chicken of the sea. I once caught 94 white bass, 12 to 15 in a 5 hour time on Lake Winnebago. Hamburger bun pizzas. Yeah. I do squid. I could eat calamari and I are friends. You know what I'm saying? Hamburger bun pizzas. He said I like sausage and bacon, but other pork meat I stay away from. Yeah, pigs are fucking disgusting. Again, as somebody whose family owned a farm growing up, love me some cows, love me some horses. Pigs are fucking disgusting. There's a reason you fry bacon. You know what I mean? Yeah, fortunately I didn't eat tuna for very long and I haven't eaten it much since. I was on World Talk today and the video froze as it was giving out info in the US being censored. Appeal approved. See, I told you. Restored my live access. Remember how I told you I was like, I don't know what I said. I didn't do anything wrong though. I just want to make sure before anybody gets in here that I look into this camera and say fuck you. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. You're cool, I'm out. That's how I feel about TikTok. That's right. I ain't say nothing wrong. Remember, so one of the things, this is an actual news show, right? I don't even know what World Talk is. Okay? Um, we talked about how they called the police to a WNBA game because somebody threw a dildo onto the basketball court. Well, now someone's been arrested because that dildo hit a 12-year-old on its way to the basketball court. That's right. So whatever idiot brought that fucking dildo to a WNBA game with the intent of throwing it on the basketball court, they assaulted a fucking minor with that dildo before it got to the court. Oh man, to be dumb as fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, one thing, there's a reason that I'll never be famous, and it's because I don't have media training, and I refuse to have my language press snarkretary. That's pretty fun. Oh, and by the way, when you log into TikTok online, the number of views that your shit gets is a lot different than when you're looking at it on your phone. It makes me feel a lot better about myself. Hey, TikTok, we're back. Yeah. Yeah, when we got banned, I was like, wait, what? What did I say? What did I say? Um, so we've just been having a news show over here. So, Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson blasts Donald Trump's military threats as blatant violations of the Constitution. Yeah, it is like well, it's like a boomerang that I don't care if it comes back. You get what I'm saying? Like I'm gonna keep going live because people show up. I mean, there was like 60 people here when we got banned earlier on TikTok. Of course, I'm just happy to see we got 20 people a minimum like every day on YouTube. So the audience is growing. TikTok is doing everything it can do to fuck us. Think about the content that I create. I have like 16,000 followers. I've had 16,000 followers and stayed at 16,000 followers for 6 months. How the fuck, in 90 days, by the way, in 90 days, I went from never having used the fucking platform before to having 16,000 followers to not gaining a fucking follower in months. And then when I produce content, and I get it, I talk about a lot about politics, a lot about the news. 16,000 followers and only a couple hundred people are seeing those? That don't make no fucking sense. Now, if it was a couple thousand, that makes sense. That means the people that subscribe to my content, 1 out of 8 of them will actually view my content. That matches up with all the other data from all the other social interactions I've ever had in my life. If you can get 1 out of 8 people that follow you to interact, you're doing all right. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, that's one thing I've said though. I'm not gonna jump through hoops for TikTok. I'm also not monetizing. I ain't making money. I did not update my payment information on TikTok, so it don't matter if you give me money or not. I ain't taking it, and I don't ask for it. I don't post my links. I'm not asking y'all for money or subs. I don't have a, what are those called? I don't even know what they're called. What are the, um, because I don't use them. I don't use them. I don't have a, what is it? I'm drawing a blank. What are they called? GoFundMe. I don't have a GoFundMe. I don't have a what's the other thing? GoFundMe and ba 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 ba. Uh, uh, brain fart. Holy fuck. What's it called? Um, there's like a GoFundMe and there's another thing that but my brain is like nope because I don't have it. I don't have it. I don't know. Patreon. Haha. It happened. Patreon. Video here on YouTube was repeating on my end. Had to exit and come back. Yeah. No, Dina, I was really having a brain fart. Literally, I couldn't remember Patreon. Um, but yeah, you notice that I don't share. Andy asked a question on TikTok that it's a great question. What do you think about Bitcoin? It's for suckers and losers. Cryptocurrency, a decentralized currency. It's just for people that want to throw their money away. I liked you better when you just bought lottery tickets. Now you're actively getting scammed out of your money and you're trying to like get other people to do it too. It's a scam. Most people that invest aren't making money. Just so you know, it's worse. It's like there were people that invested in the stock market and those people became social fucking pariahs because they only did business with companies that they were personally invested in. And again, I just want to point out how that makes you a fucking idiot. And then also, now we have decentralized currencies, right? And cryptocurrency. And this administration's big on that. And as I've said before, if this administration really likes something, your ass better not like it. And so when people talk about like crypto or Bitcoin and all that shit, it's just like, I'm broke. That's what that says. Mm-hmm. When somebody says Bitcoin, I'm like, oh, poor. They're about to ask me for money. Hmm. I've never met someone that got rich off Bitcoin. Mm-mm. I've met people that made their money back. That that is not profiting off an investment. Hmm. You could have just put your money in a mutual fund. You could have just put your money in a savings account. Hmm. Deb says, "What is Patreon?" Great fucking question. Doesn't even matter. So I don't know. I don't know what it actually is. Yeah. Like when someone's like, "Let me educate you about Bitcoin." I went to Purdue for data analytics. My specialty is finite math. And one of the things that I'm really good at is at calculating on return on investment, interest. I'm real good at those. Hmm. Also, risk management and deciding should we or should we not. And the answer is fucking no. Not only no, hell no. Stay the fuck away from cryptocurrency. You're too poor for that. If you really had money, you would have it in a savings account. You would have divested from um, any number of your investment companies a long time ago. Hmm. Dina asked, "What do you think about buying gold?" Why? I try to think about like why, for what reason are we doing it? Is it because we don't have any? If that's how it is, I just don't have any gold. I need to buy some. Okay. Yeah. Like, yeah, Zeke's right. If I was going to try to make money off of this show, which I feel would be a disservice. Because here's what happens. Once I start making money off the show, all of a sudden the people that are financially backing me, their input now means more. And now they're sending me links of stories they think are important, and now money is directly influencing the show. So we don't take money here. I won't be I won't be guided in this journey. I'm not going to be biased. I'm going to be pretty lopsided against the GOP, the Republican, because they're fucking fascists and traitors, and every single elected Republican took money from Russia, which is our enemy, and Russia put bounties on American soldiers. So if you're still GOP Republican, GTFO. Nobody wants you here. Okay? Now, once you can just be like, okay, this is a safe place. He don't fuck with the GOP. But what I ain't is a Democrat. I ain't no liberal. I ain't sitting up here upholding the ideals of capitalism. We're not doing that. Notice that this shows it does not have sponsors, does not run ads, does not take money. I ain't putting Patreon and GoFundMe and fucking Zelle and PayPal and saying pay me. Uh-uh. Nope. So I can tell you that 100 elected Democrats take money from AI PAC. And there are also 54 elected Democrats that are part of what's called the Blue Dog Caucus. And their whole objective is to kneecap the fuck out of progressive politics forever, okay? So when you ask me, how come you're not a Democrat? I just fucking told you. Those spineless fucks. The status quo superstars are also major recipients of money from AI PAC, up to and including Joseph R. Biden, Kamala Harris, Cory Booker, Hakeem Jeffries. They all take money from AI PAC, hence their silence. Hmm. Bought and paid for. So if you think either political party is for you, uh, GTFO. That's not why we're here. We're here because I founded the American Socialist Party. Hmm. Yeah. So not only did this white boy speak out every day against this fucking regime, I also am going to undercut their attempt at fracturing the Republican Party as well, turning this into a uniparty state, which is what the Democratic Party is attempting to do. And don't get it twisted. Democratic Party is pretty good at running a country. I said pretty good. But there's a reason I founded the American Socialist Party. I'm pro equality. So when you run into somebody that's like anti DEI, well, now you've run into somebody that, you know what, I actually like you more if you're a person of color, a woman, or a member of the LGBTQIA plus community, because I recognize that most of the white boys that you've ever run into were probably just assholes the moment they figured out you were any of them fucking things. And I happen to not treat people differently based on now. I do heckle the shit out of Cece because she's like my mother. So sorry, Cece. But anyway, um, the reason we founded the American Socialist Party is because I'm pro equality. hmm Instead of anti DEI, I'm pro equality. I'm the opposite of what is in power. hmm So when you hear people talk about like, oh, the reason that we lost is because of identity politics, I think that person should be tarred and feathered. And in fact, I think identity politics are what gets people to vote. hmm The protection of all classes of people equally under the law, including rich and poor, right? Uh, I'm pro union. I'm actually a syndicalist socialist. So I think that you ought to join a union. And when we look at why we're in the position we're in, it's because of Citizens United. And then if you want to look back about 70 years, union membership is on the decline for the last 70 years. And you know what I've noticed has happened? And I'm only 40, right? I'm 42. So, like 30 of them years, I've watched union members get their due. I've watched union members get paid appropriately. I've watched their insurance and their quality of life improve as a result. I've watched them stand up for themselves and go on strike and actually have the money in the bank to pay their bills while on strike. Why? Because they were union members and they were being paid appropriately. And above all things, I think that we could start with universal health care, education, income, and housing. Oh, Blue Dog Caucus. hmm So basically, we have Russia versus Israel running the government right now. We need a workers' party. We need a simple party. Universal health care, education, income and housing, equality for all. Join a union. It's that goddamn simple. hmm And I think it's imperative that you have people of color, the LGBTQIA plus, as a feature and not a bug. You'll notice with the Democrats and Republicans, I'm just throwing it, I'm just saying it. Uh, Notice how they act when a black person gives a fiery speech. Oh, the whole party needs this, but that's how Democrats act. They're still tokenizing fucking women and people of color, especially when they're passionate. Hmm? Oh, and you want to talk about tokenization? Let's talk about the Republican Party and how they tokenize people of color and women and the LGBTQIA plus. So again, if you think them parties are for you and that's how this should fucking work, I disagree vehemently. I disagree to the point where I'm like, you remember the president of the steel union that came out and said, bring back Kilmar Abrego Garcia or we will use our assets to go get him? That wasn't a government that did that. That wasn't a company that did that. That was the steel union, the steelworkers union. Just remember that. And recently, American pilots got paid, in some cases, up to more than $1 million after contract negotiations with the FAA. And that happened despite this administration's attempt to kneecap the FAA. We need an American Socialist Party. We need a founder of a political party that's still alive. Uh huh. That has a resume that you can bank the fuck on. And I've said it before, I'll say it again. I'm not a perfect person. Not at all. But I'm an Eagle Scout. I'm not only an Eagle Scout, I'm Order of the Arrow. Only one out of every 100 Eagle Scouts gets Order of the Arrow, and it's based on the quality of your service project, which I had to coordinate as a fucking teenager. And then I went to Purdue University out of high school. I wanted to be an astronaut. I had to settle for being a pilot and an air traffic controller. But the FAA went on a hiring freeze. So it would be kind of dumb for me to get a degree in fucking flight when I can't be a pilot or an air traffic controller or an astronaut. Like, what the fuck are you going to do with that degree? We didn't fucking get that degree. I even went back to Purdue. Boiler the fuck up. And for the last 2, 3 years, I've been taking data analytics courses at Purdue, including their capstone courses, and I quit. I dropped the fuck out. Why? Because all of the capstone courses at Purdue in their data analytics program were championing the use of AI after I spent 2 to 3 years studying actually how to do data analytics without AI. Yeah, that's right. The program turned on its fucking head. Why would I pay $40,000 for the last 2 years of that program when they're teaching counter to what they were teaching me when they were teaching me to do it for real? Now I'll go back. I'll get a 4 year degree in political science so that the American Socialist Party's founder has a completely legitimate background, right? Degree in political science, veteran, Eagle Scout, no criminal record, no drug addiction, no fucking kids, no mistresses, right? I work from home. I work in finance. I help people stop paying interest. Help people get out of debt so they can move on with their lives or retire with some goddamn dignity instead of fucking dude. I met someone that still works full time at 78 years old last week. I just want you to think about the alternative to what I'm saying. I regularly talk to people in their 60s that work a full time and a part time job so they can fucking retire one day. Think about that while you pay your 80% interest credit card payments. hmm Yeah, right, Zeke. Somebody else said the Mormon church ruined Boy Scouts over here for my hubby and son. Pedophiles and creeps ruined Boy Scouts. Um, my brother and I had to switch troops because we went about that fuck around shit. Too many grown ass men trying to fuck around with little kids and shit. And my dad threatening to fucking blow people's fucking brains out for the way they treat our kids, like touching my kids and shit. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I hate to see people working even part time over 65. Not because you shouldn't and you have no value. It's aging gracefully. It's that. It's not it's not that I don't think you're capable. It's a good thing in staying Boy Scouts, yeah. No, it's good to get away from a toxic environment no matter what it is. And that's not to say like Boy Scouts wasn't toxic, man. To get my swimming merit badge, I had to swim a fucking mile, and swimming a mile in a fucking pool blows. Real talk. So I did it in a lake in southern Indiana. So if you ever wondered why I don't get in the fucking water and why even when I was on active duty, hell yeah, Goldfinger said we all deserve a good retirement. Exactly. I think you should get. I think every American citizen should get $500 every Friday. Thanks for playing. And you should use it on whatever the fuck you want. Soda, candy. I don't give a shit. Lottery tickets. I don't care. Drugs. Who cares? Just think you should get $500 every Friday. Thanks for playing. Hey, Lori. Well, we did get banned earlier today for about 40 minutes. Yeah, remember, when I think of billionaires, I think of them as the person that pushes you off the ladder of the spaceship and then they pull the ladder up and take the fuck off. That's a billionaire. Hmm. Zeke, go to the YMCA. What are you talking about? Hey, Olivia. Got about 40 people in here. Remember, the consistent message is control what you can control, right? Get 8+ hours of sleep. A study just came out that said you need 9 hours of sleep. Hmm. Bowling. Bowling's good. Yeah, I've talked to my wife about getting up in the morning and going to the gym like before I come home and walk the dogs. I've thought about it. And remember, I told you that this shit won't happen because of money. Donald Trump wants to deploy American troops on American soil, and he's gonna run out of money. Isn't it? It's expensive as fuck. War is expensive. MAGA is super supportive about the DC takeover because they know it's not about crime. All right, let's check the weather and get out of here. Take a look at y'all bot. Oh wow. Evacuation orders for Wyoming. Flood watch for Lake Tahoe. Yet we need a ballroom in the White House. Exactly. And I want to continue to point out that there are zero situations in which it would cost $200 million to build that ballroom because all that chintzy gold shit is not worth shit. So, want to continue to point that out as the President of the United States makes the White House look like Mar-a-Lago, that shit looks trashy as fuck. That Donald Trump is trashy. If you support the president, you are trash. This shit is whack as fuck. Oh my god, I said a word. Whack. Yeah, completely whack as fuck. Weather intensity scores quiet. I think we already had our major weather for the day. Tucson, Arizona. Mm, it's actually going on around. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Tucson and Phoenix about to get lit. Hey, that's abnormal. If you know people that live in Arizona, you probably need to say like, "Hey, y'all are gonna get some weather today that's abnormal." This is one of them days where an American city gets graces the front page of This Is Climate Change when it's like, look what's about to happen in fucking Arizona. I'm screaming it from the fucking rooftops, top of the show. Hey, 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 hey! If you live, fuck, Montana, Wyoming, Colorado, New Mexico, your shit is on fire. Or West, your shit is on fire. There's a major storm. Yeah, severe storm risk for Phoenix and Tucson with damaging winds. Evacuation orders issued for Red Canyon fire in Hot Springs County, Wyoming. In 1 hour, there will be a flash flood in Garfield, Rio Blanco, and Colorado. Life-threatening flooding, thunderstorms producing flash flooding. I'm watching. I cannot believe I'm saying this. An area with a fire warning due to drought is about to have like a year's worth of rain. And to think, all we had to do was switch from plastic to paper. All you had to do was recycle, reuse. All we had to do was champion electric vehicles. I want to say 1970. Actually, in 1888. The first production electric car was made in 1888. By the turn of the 20th century, electric vehicles were popular in cities. New York and London had full taxi fleets of electric cars at the turn of the century, 100 plus years ago. Electric cars were considered superior to gasoline cars by many. Somebody asked, aren't they in monsoon season? I have no idea. I'm not from that part of the country. I didn't even know that was a thing. Yeah, I had no idea there was a monsoon season. Did you know there was a monsoon season in Arizona? They don't teach that. Yeah. Yep. I got my wife already saying this is the last gas car I buy. So, and the only reason she didn't get a hybrid is because she got her car taken from her and went in the next day like I need a car and just got whatever she could get. You know what I mean? See, I'm making sure that I am not saying that it's monsoon season because I'm not a climate scientist from the southwest part of the United States. So I don't know when it started. I imagine when I think monsoon, I don't think almost fall. I think springtime, like when the shit starts to thaw out. April showers bring May flowers. That's not the monsoon time? Man. August pours storms. Water runs, doesn't absorb. Yeah. I just didn't know monsoon season was in the summer. I thought it would be in the spring. June to September monsoon season. Hey, that's a third of your year that it's deadly weather season. You couldn't make me live there. The fuck? 4 months. Listen, I live in the Midwest. I have my whole life. Guess what we don't have? Guess what we don't have? We don't have tornado season. Like it's not a thing. Fire season, monsoon season, mudslide season. I will say it has been humid as fuck here in Indiana, and it hasn't rained that much. That much. It has rained, but it's been like, is that even enough? So, I wish they would back out here so I could see the whole country. Corn sweat season in the Midwest. That's funny. So hot the corn sweats. Yeah. See, I'm from Indiana. where I sit inside or work all day and it's 68 degrees with no wind. Okay? And in Indiana, it got 68 last night for the first time, man, in the last like 90 days. It feels like it's been that hot outside. Bobby said, I live in the northernmost part of Michigan's Upper Peninsula. The weather's crazy there. Already 55 degrees in fall colors. Winter, there will be 330 inches. I know you did not mean 330 inches of snow. That's like 30 feet, 20 some feet. That's an insane amount of snow. What are you supposed to do when there's that much? That's like never see sunshine again snow. There it is! Sorry, I was dicking around waiting on the whole screen. Holy fuck! There is a massive storm. Big ass. Holy shit! There is a big storm in Oklahoma and Kansas. It covers like most of Kansas and most of Oklahoma. There is a big ass storm. Holy shit. Hey, if you live in Kansas or Oklahoma or the cities straight to the east, uh, fuck, I'm real bad at this. Missouri and Arkansas, I'm pretty sure, are directly to the east of Kansas and Oklahoma. I'm right, right? So I just want to be like, hey man, if you live in those four states, your shit is fucked. Also, it's going to be that big storm in Arizona. The entire left side of the country, your shit is on fire. And there's also going to be rain all over the west today and floods. There are going to be floods all over today. So if you live in central and southern Colorado, uh, northern New Mexico, what is that? Western Nevada? Northeastern California floods. Southern Arizona floods. There's rain all over the Northeast, but it's spotty. There's moisture all over the Gulf, spotty. But yeah, big ass storm, like encompasses the entire. Look, I wouldn't exaggerate. Look at this shit. Look, see that shit? Look at that fucking thing. Holy shit! These states, come on now. Normally I'd be gone already. I'm making a big deal because I think it's a big deal. Look at this shit. Look at this shit. Look at this shit. Look at that shit. Look at that shit. That's a big storm. Okay? When I said it's like the whole state, Lori asked about West Tennessee. That storm, that I mean it's moving too. That system is fucking booking too. That big storm system that I said is over Oklahoma and Kansas today, it's moving real fast to the east. So West Tennessee would be possibly catching the tail end of that, maybe a little bit of rain. But you got to understand weather develops over the course of the day too. So you have what's here now and what will be. Yeah, weather intensity is picking up a little bit for y'all bot. So make sure you keep your eye on the weather. And again, if you live in that four-state area, right? That if you live in Kansas, if you live in what I say, Kansas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Missouri, hey, big ass storm. Big ass storm today. Floods in southern Arizona, floods all over the west, plus a fire risk. Like, holy fuck. Dina Dina just called the president yam tits. Y'all would really get a kick out of our YouTube chat. Today is a Ryan Hall kind of day. The lightning that hit our house arced off my neighbors who had a tall wireless extender, basically like a goddamn lightning rod. Angie, I just want to know what the fuck is going on in your life that you need a range extender? It's 2025. I have fucking fiber in my house. What the fuck do you need a giant ass range extender over your on the top of your house? What? My daughter lives 20 minutes northwest of Nashville, Tennessee. Oh yeah, I mean she's just surrounded by sundown towns. Hmm. Not that there's I don't know about Michigan. I thought Michigan was pretty progressive, and they mean they fully legalized herbs. I would rather be cold than hot. If anybody knows me needs to know that. It traveled through our speakers to the TV. What? Yam tits is G rated. My kids think fuckface is inappropriate. Well, I was thinking that his name is Pussy Throat. Dina, I still need that T-shirt. Remember Pussy Throat and Lashif, or was it Ladouche? I think we called him Ladouche. But Yam tits is hilarious. I mean, imagine calling other people low IQ when you've abused your body to the point where you can't hold your piss and shit, you can barely fucking walk, and you gotta lie about golfing. First of all, first of all, that was actually kind of funny now that I think about it. But like, think about having to fucking lie about your golf hobby. I don't even fucking like golf. You know what I mean? Much less like give a fuck a bunch about it enough to lie. Like, holy shit. You should embarrass him. He does regularly. You listen to me. How does this motherfucker wear a suit into the White House with shit all over it, bro? And they let him do that. Like, think about this. Think about this. Are you ready? Donald Trump wears makeup on the back of his hand for the same reason that I wear a baseball hat. The difference is that I'm not in denial that I'm balding. It's just otherwise you're gonna catch the glint off my fucking forehead and blind yourself. And I think you probably just rather look at a baseball hat, right? I'm not in fucking denial about the fact that I'm balding, right? But I mean the same reason that he wears makeup on the back of his hand is he's dying. I want to point this out. The thing that you should have got from the medical professionals uh, that are speaking out, that are like, "Hey, this dude's fucking dying. He's clearly got congestive heart failure and all this other shit going on." I'm just letting you know, I have a bunch of dogs, and we had to put down one of our dogs last year, who basically died. Couldn't hold her piss and shit anymore. Shitty fucking attitude. Would like go outside and not remember why she went as out there for. You start wandering around and shit, and you're like, what the fuck? Had to put it down. Because it became a danger to itself and others. It wasn't just the pooping and shit in the house. Yeah, no, it wasn't that. But let's go blood clots. Have a good day. It just said I went sub only. I don't even know. I don't even know why that exists. Zeke said, if I had Fabio hair, I would style it, but my hair is curly and lost its shape, so buzz cut for me is what I do. So I've never talked about it, but I started buzz cutting my hair when I came home from the military. While I was on active duty, it was just part of the outfit. I didn't see a value in a fade, right? So I just wore buzz cut. And then I came home from the military, and what I noticed as I got older, and this is over like the last like almost 20 years now, um, I started to get zits on my head, whiteheads, like big ones, like, and they hurt and they burn too. And I got a treatment which reduced the freak. I don't get those nearly as often. But I did just have one like last week where it was just a little bump on my head, but it hurt and it was mushy. And when I squeezed it, I mean enough goo came out on my finger that I had to go in the other room and get a towel to wipe it the fuck off, wash my hands, and basically dress a wound. So that's why I cut my hair off. So that when I do pop something on my head, it doesn't like now my hair is fucking nasty. You know what I mean? And it perpetuates this shit. And part of the problem is I wear a hat. Full disclosure, you know. We go through a little bit of pain for a little bit of pleasure. Don't make me feel like I'm aging that fast when I'm wearing a baseball hat. But damn, when I take my hat off and you can see how holy shit, I ain't got nothing going on up there. A little depressing. Not gonna lie. Have a good day, everybody. I'm just kidding. I'm not.